Hello again, I'm Robert Fitton, and why in the world am I dressed like this? Well, obviously, because today I want to talk about Olivia Newton-John. Actually, I want to talk about Prince, of course, because I just recently acquired 8 Prince albums at an estate sale. 8 that I had never heard before, including 2 box sets. I'm a huge Prince fan since the 80s. Right around the time 1999 was out was when I first discovered Prince. Back when I was small enough to still fit into this shirt. That's how long ago it has been. Of course, my first R-rated movie I ever saw at the theater was Purple Rain. Huge Prince fan. Still my second favorite album of all time is Purple Rain. Love 1999 too. Those are my 2 favorite Prince albums. So yes, I am that Prince fan. The one that is all into Purple Rain in 1999 and Controversy and Sign of the Times. I will pause for a couple of seconds here so you can put in the comments how I'm not a true Prince fan because my favorite album is Purple Rain. I'll pause here. You can make that comment. You weren't even logged in. Okay. Well, anyway, we're gonna move on. So I'm gonna be checking these albums out because I kind of drifted off the Prince path right around like 91 or so. I wasn't really that much into Diamonds and Pearls, and I definitely wasn't into the Symbol album with all 7 will die or something like that. I wasn't into that. And so I kind of drifted away from Prince, but still love the 80s stuff, late 70s stuff. And man, I had a whole year where I was just all about listen to nothing but Prince. Like the year of 84 was 84, 85. Those were the years. So yeah, I was all about Prince, but so glad to finally catch up on the stuff I'd been missing out on. Starting off with this album called Originals. This was released posthumously after he passed away, 2016. Hard to believe it has been 8 years since Prince passed away. But this version is on white vinyl. Yeah, I just got all these all at once. This is Prince doing his original demo versions of songs that he would just give to other people to turn into huge hits. And yeah, I've got a lot of those albums too. People like these represented the Vanity 6 and Apollonia 6 and Maserati, The Family featuring Jerome Benton, Sheila E., of course, and The Time. I'm not sure where my album for The Time went. Also, the Bangles and Martika and Sinead O'Connor and yes, even Kenny Rogers. So yeah, Prince Originals, excellent collection here, and it was so cool because I knew 3/4 of the songs on here, but then Prince's voice comes on and does them, and it was just blowing me away. Especially the first couple of songs, Sex Shooter and Jungle Love. I've heard Jungle Love especially a million times, and of course, very familiar with the Sex Shooter song from Apollonia 6. And it's the music on here sounds almost identical. In fact, it might even be the same music track exactly, especially Jungle Love, than the more popular hit versions from the other groups. Manic Monday is totally different. The Bangles do their own music on that. But yeah, that was the one, I think it was the single that was off of here, so I kind of got a taste of that first. But loved hearing Prince's versions of these songs. Makeup from Vanity 6. I think Prince's version is actually kind of superior to that. Noon Rendezvous, the Sheila E. song, the real slow one from The Glamorous Life. Love the Glamorous Life itself, the song on here. Holly Rock, also Sheila E.'s, later Sheila E.'s song. Baby, You're a Trip. So yeah, Gigolos Get Lonely too. And of course, the album ends with Nothing Compares to You. The song that was originally done by The Family, but then Sinead O'Connor turned into a huge hit in 1990. I always really liked the Sinead O'Connor version, but it was great to hear Prince doing his own stuff here. And we can finally, if nothing else, put to rest those lists 10 songs you didn't know that Prince wrote. It's yeah, okay, you don't know what I know. Knew Prince wrote that, but yeah, now that everyone is aware that Prince wrote all these. You're My Love is the Kenny Rogers song, and 100 Miles Per Hour from Maserati. Just really fits because, the name Maserati. But yeah, nice gatefold there with all of the, different album covers and singles and 12-inch single covers and stuff like that. The people that would turn these songs into huge hits. But yeah, Prince Originals. I don't know what that line is there. I guess just Anyway, yeah, so really glad to finally get this and hear the whole thing and then be introduced to it the way I love to be introduced to music, right there on the vinyl record. And this, like I said, is just one of 8 albums I recently acquired. All right, next up we have One Night Alone Live. This is actually Prince's first official live album, and we're not counting the Prince and the Revolution VHS tape that came out in the like 85 that was later released to vinyl. This was the first one that he actually authorized, and originally released in 2002, didn't come out on vinyl until much later than that from We Are Vinyl. Nice box here, 4 LP set, opens up like this, and you've got the LPs here on the side. All kinds of nice photos of Prince in there, and nice notes from fans, basically, doing the different concerts that this comes from. And it's also on this really nice purple vinyl, purple and black vinyl. I don't know if it's really appropriate for One Night Alone Live, because it looks like from every photo in here, he's not wearing purple. It's almost like he's trying to get away from that color at this point. As a matter of fact, the album opens with him saying to the audience, if you're here to get your Purple Rain on, you're in the wrong house. And of course, me being a huge fan of Purple Rain, I'm kind of like, okay, well, what house do I need to be? Can I get an Uber to that house? Anyway, no, this is a really great album. I'm not so much into jazzy Prince, but this is a lot of jazzy Prince. But it has Maceo. So Maceo's great to hear that he's had this long career, of course, with James Brown, Funkadelic, with Prince. He just keeps going and going and going with the huge acts. Love hearing that he's a part of this and was a part of Prince's troupe for a while. But very talented. But yeah, I'm not so much into the jazzy side of Prince. That's kind of why I fell off in the early 90s, because he kind of went in that direction. But he's always zigzagging in different directions. Makes him really, really interesting, obviously. But this is called One Night Alone Live. And so you'd think it would be a lot of from One Night Alone. But actually, most of the songs on here come from the Rainbow Children album. But it's a stellar set anyway. Like he says, if you're here for Purple Rain, you're in the wrong house. I think he does Take Me With You, a small segment of that on this album. And he does a very small segment of The Beautiful Ones on piano. It's beautiful. But no, he does not do Purple Rain. He does not do Let's Go Crazy. Doesn't do anything like 1999, No Little Red Corvette, Delirious, none of that. He is not the kind of guy who just goes on, and I'm sure, obviously, the big Prince fans already know this, but he is not the kind of guy that goes on stage, does concerts where it's like the usual thing with, okay, here's a bunch of hits, we're going to do a few tunes from the new album, and that's the concert. He is an auteur who does what he wants. Whatever he's feeling at that time, whatever he's into in that era, that moment, that's what the concert's going to be. You're there to see Prince. You're not there to get a roll call of Prince hits. Madonna is very similar to that. Grateful Dead, rock band, very similar to that as well. There are other artists that do that as well, and Prince is definitely one of those where it's a Prince concert and you're going to get what Prince wants to give you, and it's not going to be the expected run of hits and that kind of thing. And this album really proves that. It's a great snapshot of Prince live in 2002. I never got to see Prince live, by the way. I don't know if I've mentioned that. But this it gives a great kind of... I'm sure there were things cut out. I think there's a couple of covers that he did that were not part of this package, but other than that, this gives sort of a great snapshot of, I'm sure, what it would have been like to see him in concert. It's come off as very, very unfiltered. It's very intimate. It's One Night Alone, so you think it has that kind of an intimate title, and that's what you get. You get very mellow tunes. One of them is even called Mellow. But yeah, he's doing his thing and interacting with the audience. Some of it, to me, works a little better than the rest. He's asking some woman if she's a leader or a follower, and she's like, I'm a leader, and he goes, too bad, and goes on to the next person, are you a leader or a follower? Now, obviously, you know what he said the first time, so she's going to say, I'm a follower. And he follow me up to the stage, and I guess she's able to sit on the stage and watch the show. This would have been great with a video counterpart, but I loved kind of listening to the album and sort of imagining what's happening. I didn't care for the name-changing part, though, where he comes on, he starts asking members of the audience, what's your name? And my name's Jennifer. He's like, okay, Jennifer, your name's, whatever now. It's like, well, no, my name's Jennifer. And he asked this, I don't remember if it was a man or a woman, but he asked this one person what their name is. He goes, well, I'm going to call you Lynch. It's like, excuse me? If he would have been like that to me, I don't know, man. I would have probably, my name is not Lynch. I know that. I don't know everything, but I know my name's Robert. It's not Lynch. What the... Anyway, jazzy and mellow. I definitely love the Prince and the Revolution concert from 1985. That's like one of the most exciting, just adrenaline-filled. I wish I could have been at that. But this is a great way to hear Prince from 2002. And great to hear this on vinyl, even though you have to keep getting up and turning everything, every side is, I think like 14 minutes long or something like that. Anastasia, an extended version of that's like 12 minutes, takes up a whole side. And here's the thing. When this was originally released in 2002 on CD, it contained the after show, which Prince is just so famous for his after party. I mean, just touring and concert after concert after concert. And then on top of that, these after shows that go on and on and on for hours as well. The guy just never stopped. I mean, he would play it live and then sleep. And then play live some more and then sleep. That was his life on the road, Loved what he was doing, obviously. But those after shows, one of them was presented on the CDs as a bonus disc. And it is not here. But these sides on this vinyl are very short. Like I said, 12, 15-minute long sides. I think they could have moved some songs up and freed up at least a side so we get a little taste of a little morsel, a little something of the after show. Maybe a couple of highlights or something. I really wish that would have been a part of this. But this is just the main package here of the main concerts taken from, I think, 8 or 10 different venues. And you know how they do that, and they edit it together and make it sound like a full concert. But yeah, a lot of great stuff on here. A lot of it I was not familiar with because I heard this before I heard the Rainbow Children album. I don't have the One Night Alone album, so I knew I wasn't going to hear a lot of these tracks and the studio versions, but I didn't realize so many of these were from the Rainbow Children, and of course I have that. I'll be reviewing that coming up later in the video. But yeah, One Night Alone live. If you like what Prince was into later and you want to hear it unfiltered and just him just having fun with the audience, and then getting into kind of a hits medley of really earlier stuff. He does a few bars of stuff and that's it. And it's kind of goes on to this medley. Like I said, like Do Me Baby is part of that. I Want to Be Your Lover. Like I said before, Beautiful, Beautiful Ones. And he does do Raspberry Beret, though, in full and has the audience sing along. So that was really cool. But Starfish and Coffee. But yeah, a lot of great stuff on here. It gets really mellow with the piano where it's just him with the piano. And that was cool to hear, too. If you just want to hear Prince with the piano and a microphone, then you want this one. Prince and a Microphone, 1983. This was another posthumous release. But it's from something that's been bootlegged and passed around for years and years and years. I finally got an official version. This is a really nice package here. Hardback cover here that opens up into this nice, it's got a booklet in here. It's got all kinds of liner notes. It's got a nice photo here. Everything in black and white. Nice photo there of Prince, just kind of a random shot there. It's got extensive liner notes. You get detailed stuff from Wendy. She speaks up from the Revolution. She's got a thing in here talking about all the different songs and a couple of the people that worked with him as well, backing vocalists on here. And then it comes on CD and basic black vinyl. I don't really know why we have to have both a CD and vinyl, but that's what you get. They're identical, and they sound pretty much the same. This is not an audiophile recording or a studio recording by any stretch of the imagination. It's basically... you're a fly on the wall, and you're just in the room while Prince is just noodling around on a piano and doing songs that he had already done, like International Lover, doing songs that he would later release, like Strange Relationship, and still like the working mode of that song. 17 Days is on here. That would probably be released the next year on a B-side. But yeah, you get all of that, and it's just kind of a flow. In fact, the whole first side of this is just one long flow of him just going from one song to the other. And like the title suggests, it's Prince, a piano, and a microphone. I mean, there's no backing stuff. There's no... it's basically just a home recording. I don't think this was ever meant to be released, obviously. But after he passed away, it's like, let's just start putting this stuff out, putting it in these huge packages like this. I love the way this basically demo thing here bootlegged for years, gets this solid, really nice package. And then there's all kinds of stuff that hasn't even been released at all yet. So hopefully someday everything will get this deluxe treatment. Also a song on here where he goes into the Jamie Starr character, where he's all cocky and silly, doing a song called Cold Coffee and Cocaine, which when I saw that on the track listing, I'm like, wow, really, from Prince? But yeah, it's a little different there from him. But of course, he's in character at that point. But yeah, a lot of great... I don't think this is something start off with. Like, this shouldn't be the first or second or even third Prince album, but if you're a fan and you just wanted to know what it was like to just be in a room while Prince is just working out some songs and just kind of playing around on the piano, this does not disappoint at all. It's not something you're going to jam to. It's probably not something you're going to listen to over and over again. It's not going to be anybody's favorite album, but it is a rare glimpse sort of behind the scenes with Prince. So for that, I would definitely recommend this for big fans of Prince. Okay, are you ready for this mammoth collection? Yes, this thing is huge for just a basic studio album. I know it's so big, it's intimidating. I don't think I can handle it. Well, trust me, you'll love it. It's called I almost said the Immaculate Collection. It's called Emancipation. This is the oldest one that I got in this recent collection. This is from 1996. Of course, was not on vinyl at the time. Came out years and years later. Again, another one from We Are Vinyl. And yeah, this huge thing is, how many discs is this? This is 6 records in here. Just one studio album. That's our Prince. Wow. He put this out right after he left Warner Brothers and felt the emancipation. I never really realized, seeing this all these years, that it's his fist down here and he's breaking chains. And these are chains that are breaking loose here. And then the sun is shining through. But yeah, Emancipation, 6 records. That's enough. I think this is probably, I think I remember reading somewhere a long time ago. I don't know if it's still the case. But at the time, this was the longest studio album ever put out by a major artist. Now, I'm sure like Underground, have done that, but a major artist like Prince, this six records, it was 3 CDs, and those CDs were full too. They weren't like 42-minute CDs. Those were full, 75-minute discs, 80-minute, 72-minute, whatever. Starts off with a song called Jam of the Year. It really takes some balls to have your own song, call it Jam of the Year. But again, that's Prince. So yeah, it's just a fun stuff on the first disc, which would be the first 2 records here. Yeah, if your man's giving up the gold, say ho. If your fellas, say woof. If you're only giving up the bone. What happened to Pussy Control? I thought women don't need a man to give up they got their own gold. He had the gold collection. But anyway, that's where Pussy Control is. I guess she got left behind. But yeah, great stuff on here. But Jam of the Year and Somebody was one of the singles. Get Your Groove On. A lot of just basic, kind of jam, kind of fast songs. Kind of disc 1 and 2 on this are just kind of an introduction, getting you warmed up. There's not a lot of fancy percussion. It's almost like with this many songs, I wonder if he would have whittled it down a little bit, if he could have concentrated on juicing some of them up, because some of them just sound like basic jams, like that Get Your Groove On, where they just keep saying that. But yeah, I wonder if fans of this do like fans of the Beatles' White Album and the Clash Sandinista, and they're always trying to whittle it down and be like, what off of Emancipation would have made the perfect 1-disc album, to take their favorite songs and make the perfect Emancipation album according to them. I don't know if fans do that or not. I'm certainly not going to do that. This album is like a journey, though. Like I said, the first couple of sides, the first couple of records, first CD, is kind of like getting you warmed up. It's some nice jams in there. You got a cover of Betcha by Golly Wow, which was one of the singles as well. Really took me by surprise way back when I heard that in 96, that was the first single off here. I was like, whoa, Prince doing a cover? I had never heard that before. I don't think he did that before. I could be wrong, but I don't think that Prince did a cover on any of his other albums. And he's got like 4 or 5 of them on here. That piano and microphone actually has a Joni Mitchell cover on it, A Case of You. But anyway, this Betcha by Golly Wow, he does okay with it, but I'm just so surprised at Prince doing covers on here. And I didn't realize until much later, there's more covers on here, including Bonnie Raitt's the Turn Out the Light, I Can't Make You Love Me, and Joan Osborne's One of Us. He's not only doing classic covers, like Bet You By Golly Wow and La La Means I Love You. Artists do that all the time. Very rarely does an artist do a cover of a song that's like a year old, which at this point, that I Can't Make You Love Me and One of Us was only like a year old. And so that's pretty daring to cover a song that's still kind of somewhat hot, at least warm, recurrent on the charts. But yeah, he really takes the Joan Osborne and juices that thing up and gives it some real emotion. The Joan Osborne version's okay, but she's kind of like doing that alternative kind of, yeah, God, what if God, what, kind of thing. He really takes it to another level, but I'm still so surprised at Prince doing covers. I'm not as big of a fan of the I Can't Make You Love Me. I don't know why. He must just really like that song or something like that. But really surprised with the Prince covers. And yeah, I don't think he does too much more. And as far as I remember, he wasn't a fan of people doing his songs. I know he didn't like, was it Maroon 5 that did Kiss? Maybe it was somebody, I don't know, but he was not a fan of that at all. But he didn't like people doing his songs, but he did some covers on here. But yeah, he's got all kinds of different music on here. He can still prove that he can be goofy with this the old time big band take called It's Courtin' Time with Prince. Another one that kind of surprised me off of here. All kinds of catchy, very serviceable jams. Damned If I Do. Prince got that kind of Latin rhythm going in '96. He was on the cusp of that. Sometimes in the earlier 90s, he was kind of following some trends, but the Latin rhythm stuff in a pop song from, a non-Latin performer, everybody was doing that in like 98. That got super huge in like 99, 98. Prince was on the forefront of that in 96 with that Damned If I Do song. But yeah, just really a lot of different types of music on here. And then when you get into what would be the second CD, which is, of course, record 3 and 4, then you get the slow jams. Then you get this real deep soul R&B kind of stuff. I love making music. You turn down the lights and you got a whole disc of that, or a whole 2 records of that, but you have to keep turning them over. But that kind of interrupts the lovemaking. But yeah, you can, those slow grooves from Prince, and you could just get way up in there with records 3 and 4. I love the way that they're separated, and he kind of gives you that. He kind of gives you the serviceable funk jams, and then record 3 and 4, you got the slow jams, and then the last act 3, disc 3, records 5 and 6. That is when the real fire hits. He goes into like Club Prince, which I hadn't heard too much of. He does full-on EDM, techno, house music, and I haven't heard a lot from Prince like that before. The songs like Human Body and New World, and just got all, it's my favorite part of the whole experience is the third part, where Prince just opening the floodgates and just letting the energy out, and I can't imagine what those songs would have been like in concerts. I mentioned before, I never got a chance to actually see him in concert. But yeah, if he's got those things in concert, that would have been one of the ones to definitely be at, is this era when he's doing those live. He does have a couple of tracks on here that make him sound a little bit dated. The computer one on side 6 is, I'm sorry, not side 6. That would be side 12. Actually, side 11. My computer. That one's pretty good. He's talking about surfing his files or whatever, looking for somebody to make him laugh or make him smile, whatever. That one's not too bad. But the email one from earlier in the album, that one is, email's like his side B of record 3. It's part of the slow jam stuff. It's like www.email.com. It's kind of like, and it's got the "you've got mail" thing, and it's really dated, but he's trying to be cutting edge, and I guess for 1996 that was pretty cutting edge, but now it just kind of sounds silly. But you got to have some silly in there. Prince was always getting silly every once in a while, so it's good that he's got that as part of on here. One of my favorite tracks though is this gritty track called "Face Down." Man, he gets the hard funk going, and of course, it's part of the third act with all the techno stuff and the floor stuff. So yeah, I mean, he's got it going on with the face down is just a whole lot of attitude. The badass Prince is back. It gets really jarring though because he goes from that right into La La Means I Love You. So it's this slammed shut on that, and then goes right into that cover, and it's just kind of like whoa, you just kind of get a little bit of whiplash with that. But yeah, I was really surprised how much I like this. But yeah, especially the disc 5 and 6 of this. But there's something for everybody on here. I mean, this is huge, and this is damn heavy. 6 records, all on black vinyl, so not really anything too great to look at there. And it would have been great if it was, kind of orange swirl like this. But they're all black vinyl. But I would definitely recommend this if you're wanting something for later. From later, but you don't really know, you kind of were like I am, you kind of checked out around 91, 92 for a while. This is something I should not have skipped out on. I thought this was more like Crystal Ball. Remember that when he released that and it was all those discs at the same time, and it's kind of like, yeah, you're putting a little too much out at once. I thought this would be kind of like that. But no, this is great. I wish I would have jumped on this back in '96, but like I said, I was so thrown off by his cover of Betcha by Golly Wow. I wasn't really enthused about the Somebody's Somebody, which was the second single. Great single on here, The Holy River, though. That's pretty good, and it's original 7-minute length version. But I never heard that. That was apparently a third single, but I never heard that when it was out. It's got a video and everything. And Face Down, I guess, was actually supposed to be a single too, but there was like a shakeup with the label distributor EMI at the time. They were switching things around, and that whole thing basically got canceled. So I wonder what that would have been like if they could have released that as a single. I think they really missed the boat not releasing some of these as singles that were from the last part here. If they would have released like New World or something like that, or whatever, that would have been I think those would have been hits if they would have given them a little more promotion instead of just maybe just putting out a remix disc and saying, you're on your own, do whatever. If they would have given them some promotion, I think those would have been bigger. But yeah, Emancipation, definitely recommend this. Oh, cause we near Homer Nazareth. Oh, Nazareth. Nafnan. Oh, yeah. Ole.